This extension was designed to create checklists and keep track of all the items on the checklist. Let's take a look at an example. Let's open up an organization, and on the record we see checklists button. Go ahead and click here. And then once we do, we see all the checklists available for organizations module. In this case, I'll click Introduction Checklist, and I can see we have the email, category, and initial meeting. So now that's the first task, follow up on email. Then we have second follow up on email number 2. Down below we have prepare introductory package, and so on. Now within the checklist we can change the status of each item. For example, by just clicking on this icon, it changes the status of the checklist item. Next, we have ability to upload documents and files to each checklist item. Simply hit upload file, select, and it'll upload and be available for download. Lastly, we have notes. So we can add additional notes to each checklist item, as well as we can expand to see all the notes for this checklist item. And also we have a date and timestamp when was the last time the checklist item modified. And each scenario applies to every single item. Now, to create checklists, you would have to go into the configuration area. Let's go ahead and close this. We go to the menu, settings, CRM settings, and under other settings, you have your checklists. And this is the list of all the available checklists. In our demo, we only have 4 for organizations, leads, and opportunities. So let's just go ahead and open up the one that we just looked at. And we see a very similar view as a checklist. So we have the checklist name, we select the module, then we have the category. This is how the checklist items are grouped. So we have email, email, initial meeting, initial meeting. So as long as the category name is the same for multiple checklist items, it will then be put under one category. Next we have the task name. So it's basically a checklist item name. And then we can either allow or not to add documents to each checklist item or add notes, which are comments. And lastly, you have rich text capabilities to format each checklist item description. You can add images, miscellaneous formatting, and so on. Lastly, this extension is compatible with all standard and custom VTiger modules, and you can create automation based on checklist items. Say if one of the items has been on idle for 2 weeks, send an email to responsible party. Again, the checklist module is compatible with standard VTiger workflows as well as reports.